That's, of course, the crux of, and where I got the title of it was, of course, from everybody talks about. Here we are, 100 years later, still actually trying to find the true unified theory that Einstein was trying to discover before any of us were born, sometimes before any of our parents were born. What happens in the traditional treatment regime is patients out in the public um, will have a pain of whatever condition, and they'll go to their doctor looking for the cure from their physician. Traditional treatment for neuromusculoskeletal conditions um, has been shown in research to be very, very ineffective. There was a study done where the treatment performed by the physician uh, that treated patients for low back pain, the treatment success after 4 months was almost exactly the same as if the patient hadn't had any treatment at all. That was a very scary result of when everybody concerned about the cost of medical care, and they're finding out that many treatments that are being done that are accepted medical procedures um, have no validity. So traditionally, when a patient goes into a physician for pain from a neuromusculoskeletal condition, they're looking to the doctor to have the what we call the magic bullet, the wonderful drug that's going to cure them of their condition forever. Um, the hard part for physicians, if you can't explain how the treatment that you utilize works and how it may not work, because whether you're in medicine or chiropractic or osteopathy or any one of the disciplines of treatment, um, when you're dealing with the human condition, there is no such thing as pure science. The definition of science is that no matter how often you run the experiment, the result always comes out exactly the same. That's when you're in true science. Well, when it comes to treating patients, everybody knows that can never happen. The human condition is way too complex for that. So current medical interventions involve the doctor would write you a prescription for what's called NSAIDs, non-steroidal anti-inflammatories. People have heard of um, Celebrex and uh, naproxen and ibuprofen. It's those type of things. Even aspirin is somewhat of a non-steroidal anti-inflammatory. Patients, so if they have inflammation process, that's what the doctor would prescribe a medication for. If they've got muscle spasms, they prescribe a muscle relaxer. If they've got a significant pain, they might prescribe a pain reliever. But the function of medication treatment is solely to cover the symptom, but it is not curative in nature in the treatment of a neuromusculoskeletal condition. In other words, it doesn't change the nerve, it doesn't change the muscle, and it doesn't change the structure of the spine. And so the purpose of me writing this article was the research now shows that chiropractors who, with their manipulations, actually change the function of the joint and actually alter the function of the nerve and cause the release of endorphins, which is the body's own painkillers, that dictates how the chiropractor can help you. If you've got a joint problem and or a nerve problem, then you have a chance the chiropractor can help you. If the chiropractor can't change that joint enough and cannot get the body to release enough of endorphins, then both the patient and the doctor understand why the treatment didn't work in that case. And the same for the muscle condition that you would go to the physical therapist. The chiropractor would order therapy for the patient. And if they're not able to strengthen up the muscle and alter the function of the muscle, then that would explain why the patient wouldn't get well and why they'd have to have another approach. The hard part is when you come to the family physician is they don't know that. And so what happens is they end up alienating the patient when they've written the prescriptions, and when the prescriptions don't work, like the study showed, after 16 weeks of treatment in the hospital research article that was published in Spine Journal back in 2010, that after 4 months of care, the patients who had a chiropractic manipulation and physical therapy improved by 2.7 units. Whereas those who just took the drug therapy, even if they had physical therapy along with it, their improvement was only zero point 0.1. So it was literally an immeasurable improvement. So the patient would have been just as well off to do nothing. Well, that's a real game changer, and it does explain why chiropractors have been trying to open up the inroads with the medical profession to say we need to start working as a team because what you're doing isn't working, and that's the purpose of why I wrote this article. The difference in the painkiller that is natural and released by hormonal activity is modulated in the body through the nervous system by the what are called the neurotransmitters. In other words, the connectors between everybody's seen the little what they call the synapse, where one nerve connects to another one, and there's a chemical exchange across it. That's the neurotransmitters. Because those guys regulate the information from one nerve to another, when they get up to the brain and stimulate the hormonal release of those endorphins, of those painkillers, it's it's a it's a chemical substance that blocks the transmission of pain nerve, and it's one that the body recognizes. When you have an artificial substance made in a laboratory, its structure is not exactly the same as what the natural substance is made of. And even though its action is to also block the transmission of pain, the body all automatically recognizes it as a foreign substance and tries to break it down and get rid of it as quickly as possible because it's not natural, and therefore the body thinks it's not supposed to be there. So that's why pain pills, even when they work, can only work as long as you're putting the pain pill in. And that explains why patients have to have stronger and keep changing the medication and stronger concentrations to get the same result, even when the result is only temporary.